Video on are you ready to tell your creditors where to go? Well, here's how. We're going to show you in this particular video. But let's recap for a second. What's the number one job for any debtor who finds themselves stressed out by creditor phone calls and threats of wage garnishments and bank levies? The quick answer is you need to relieve yourself and that of your family from the stress of being in debt. Debt causes stress. Stress causes families to break up, marriages to break up, illness, sickness. You need to be debt-free, and you've got options. Let's talk about those. They're not many. You've got 4. The first one's reduce your lifestyle, your style of living. Cut back on everything. Cut out cable. Whatever you can cut back, cut back. And put that extra money on paying off your high-interest revolving credit, your credit cards. The question is, can you do it and make a difference? How long would it take you? Your other options are debt negotiation. That's where you can settle with your creditors for pennies on the dollar. But to qualify, you need cash. And you don't want to run out halfway through and then have to file bankruptcy, or another option, then you've wasted money. Then there's consumer credit counseling. That's a nonprofit organization that was set up by the credit card companies to keep you out of bankruptcy. It's a plan where you pay back 100% of the debt that you owe over a 5-year plan, anywhere from 50 to 60 months. To qualify, you just multiply what your total debt will be in the plan by 2%. As an example, if you owe $20,000 times 2%, that would be $400 a month. So you have to qualify, you would have to have $400 a month left over after paying your food, your rent, all your necessities of life. Now, the pros is that, yes, your creditors go away as long as you're in that plan, but there are certain things that they can't protect you from. If you're sued, you're kicked out of the plan. They don't stop wage garnishments, they don't stop bank levies, they don't stop foreclosures. So there's the pluses and minuses. And your credit report is red flagged so that you're in a credit repayment program. So getting credit over the next 50 to 60 months is going to be very, very difficult unless you can show that you have extra money each month left over to pay for that new car or used car or whatever you're trying to buy on credit. And then the last option is bankruptcy, Chapter 7. That's the one where you're going to be in and out in 90 days. That's one where everybody wants to be in, is a Chapter 7. But you have to qualify. We'll show you how to do that later. If your creditors are hounding you all hours of the day and night, we know that causes stress. They cause stress by threatening you with wage garnishments and bank levies that are a reality. And they will sue you, and they will garnish you your wages, and they will levy on your bank account. Then you can't pay your mortgage. You can't pay your rent. You can't buy food for your family. You can't buy gas for your car. You can't pay the car payments. But you know that already. So here's how we can help you. Retain our services. Once you sign up, you automatically retain our services, which you can do in one of 2 ways, but more on that later. If you haven't decided to file, you can retain us in one way, or you can sign up and file and retain us in another way. But what does retain mean? In law, it means that you engage the services of someone by payment of a preliminary fee. Retain is a word that creditors understand when it comes to collection of their debts. Once you have retained legal assistance to file bankruptcy, it means that you have made a decision to file bankruptcy and not continue to pay your creditors. The value of our service is huge. Huge to you, huge to your family's well-being. It gets the creditors off your back. It stops the phone calls. And more importantly, it stops the lawsuits from happening. This is even bigger than getting your creditors to stop calling. You see, once you retain our services, or that of a lawyer, except we're a lot less expensive than lawyers, it's the same thing, basically, creditors are supposed to stop calling, and generally they do. After all, what's the point? Once you decide to file, it's game over for them. Before, you weren't paying, and you weren't filing. You were sitting on that proverbial fence. So, and obviously, what's in it for them? There's nothing. Why file a lawsuit and get those added expenses of an attorney fee and court cost wiped out? They're not stupid. All they need to know now is that once you've decided to retain someone, is what's your case number. They can go on, call some other defenseless debtors. That's their job. So once you retain us, you can start referring your creditors to our site for them to verify that you have retained someone, and they will. They want to stop. They want to verify that you aren't just telling them something to go away, because they'll start calling back. We'll demonstrate how this works in a second, but the first thing you need to do is that you need to answer the phone. When the phone calls start coming in, answer it. Yes, please. The sooner you do, the sooner the creditors will go away. And once you get the creditor on the phone, here's what you tell them. You tell them that you go to our site, and when they get there, here's what you do, and enter some basic information that they have on file, your first and last name and the last 4 digits of your social, and then you hang up. Now we have the scripts. You'll get copies of these scripts when you sign up as a retainer, so you don't have to remember everything now. To demonstrate, we're going to go to the website here in a second and show you how it works. But basically what they're going to do is just is verify that you have retained our services. And if you haven't filed yet, the creditor is told to call back in 30 days. It's an automatic system. And that's what's important. The calls will stop. The threatened lawsuits will never be filed. Retaining our services acts as a lawsuit deterrent. And then once you sign up as a preferred member, then the message will change once you input your court date filing and your case number. And why should they keep calling? Why would a creditor file a lawsuit after being told you retained our services? Think about it. There's nothing in it for them. You've decided to file, and their debt, which is an unsecured debt in the bankruptcy rules, is totally wiped out. Why would they throw good money after bad, which is what they would be doing by hiring a lawyer to sue you, paying a court a filing fee, paying a process server to serve you? And maybe you're in a waiting position. You're waiting for a foreclosure action to stop, or you're trying to save up some money to pay a filing fee, or you're just not decided whether you can do this yourself, or you've not decided to do even a bankruptcy. If you're undecided, then the last thing you need right now is pressure of being served with a lawsuit that you have to answer, you have to respond to. You have to pay a court filing fee of a couple $100 in 20 to 30 days. Pressure like that could push you in the wrong direction too soon, way too soon. Retaining us buys the time you need so that you don't end up making an emotional decision. As you may be aware, or may not, decisions based on emotions are almost always wrong. Life-changing, life-altering decisions should be made with facts, not emotions. If you look back at your life and every decision that you ever made that was wrong, I will bet you that it was based on emotional factors, emotional decisions. You need to make factual decisions at this time. This is too serious, too important of a decision to make. Now, what if they continue to call? Well, we've got another stopgap thing for you to do. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they're not allowed to call when you write them a letter. Now, again, most often they're not going to call. There may be that one or two nasty creditors that decide they want to harass you a little bit more, and they still continue to call, even after you've retained our services. It's very rare. So what you do next is you write them a letter. You date it, you sign it, you keep a copy for your records. We tell you how to do this step by step once you do the retainer services. As mentioned, these calls are annoying, they're draining, they're demoralizing experiences that you will ever encounter, and it's at the worst time you could ever possibly have it come, was you're in debt. But you have rights, and under the Fair Credit Collection Practices Act, it forbids creditors from doing certain things at inconvenient times, such as before 8 in the morning or after 9 at night. They can't communicate with third parties, your neighbors, your friends, your Uncle Fred. They can't contact you at work. You have to tell them that in writing, though. They cannot threaten you with criminal prosecution. They can't call you on the phone repeatedly with the intention of harassing you. The list goes on. I'm not going to waste your time here with this, but they can't threaten you with jail. If they come to your house, you can ask them to leave. If they're trying to repossess your car and your car's on your property, then they're trespassing. You can ask them to leave. If they don't, you can call the police. You don't have to voluntarily surrender your car just because they ask you. If they continue to ignore your warnings, you can sue them. Therein lies the value of our service. It makes you a hero. You've told your creditors where to go. Your job is done. If you haven't decided to become debt-free, your job isn't over. If you have issues that prevent you from filing just now, no problem. We can keep your creditors away. We can keep the lawsuits from happening. You take the time that you need to decide to file, or file or not file. It's up to you. It's your choice. And you could retain us, and then there's nothing wrong with changing your mind. You can go back. You could go to credit counseling. You can go to debt negotiation. You can cut your lifestyle living expenses. Try it that way. But in the meantime, you've bought peace of mind to you and your family, and you've stopped the lawsuits from being filed. That's the important part. Stop the lawsuits. Stop the phone calls. What's that worth? It's priceless. Priceless, my friends. We can give you the peace of mind for only $7, which will retain us for 30 days. Gives you the time to decide. Remove the stress. If you need more time, retain us again for another 30 days. You may be in the middle of a foreclosure, and you don't want to file it till the end of the foreclosure to buy more time to save up money to move, more time to look at relocating to another city or state possibly. But once you make the commitment to file, you can sign up as a preferred member and then file your petition. You get all the how-to videos, the step-by-step instructions, the guides that are your roadmaps to enjoying the freedom of being debt-free. Here's a fact you already know. Your creditors won't go away until you either pay or file. It's your decision. The situation will not improve. So tell your creditors where to go. Click the link below, and we'll show you how this works. Okay, we're going to demonstrate now how the creditor will verify that you have retained our services. Once they get to our site, they will go to the bankruptcy verification link, the big red C on the toggle switch. They will click that, be taken to the bankruptcy verification, where they will enter your name, and the last 4 digits of your social, and they will get this response. In this case, Jim Smith has not retained our services. They will be calling you back if you were Jim Smith. That's what you don't want. But if you are this particular fictitious client, and click submit, they will get this message. The above member has retained our services to file a bankruptcy. If a case number is not yet listed, a case number will be available within 30 days or less. Please check back. In this case, this particular fictitious debtor has filed his bankruptcy on June the 12th. Their court date is August the 12th, and they have a case number listed here. So that's it. That's how simple it is. And your creditors can come back and check at any time. Okay, there you have it. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your patience. Hope you've enjoyed it, gotten some information out of it. Again, if you have any questions, you know where to contact us. Thanks for watching. See you on the other side.